beats up a little girl, which is not really impressive at all. Then it kicks her. And then walks away. She winds up becoming a starring character in this game. And yes, there's another life capsule up there. So halfway through the egg corridor, we see this place, and that guy is named Cthulhu. I don't know why, but whenever you come near him, his eyes light up like that. It's just kind of cool. They're actually pretty cool. These guys are those guys are some of my favorite characters in the game because they always have pretty cool lines. There's like these cryptic, mysterious guys that inhabit the island. Oh yeah, this whole game takes place on an island, by the way. You'll figure out why later, but yeah. So anyways, after you get that life capsule, you go up here and continue on throughout the egg corridor. Now you can see why the place is called the egg corridor. There are giant eggs litter the place. We'll find out what they house later. Well, actually, we'll find out what they house in a few minutes. Shoot. That is quite an annoying sound, is it not? The directional capacity of the weapons is quite cool. Now, normally, you're going to ignore egg 6 down there, and you're going to keep going, but if you play this game before, or if you're going for a speedrun, this is not what you want to do. Egg 6 has a secret little thing here that you need, that has an item that you need in a few minutes, the ID card. To continue in the egg corridor, you need this. And again, that huge white down at the bottom, although it is a one-hit kill, it's really easy to avoid. It looks fast at first, but it's really not. Once you get used to the movement in this game, that guy becomes very, to the player, will become quite slow. Floating boxes in this place, not sure how that happens. Those guys are really annoying to kill in mass numbers. Those big bug things. They shoot air, although you didn't see it, they shoot these energy blasts that can be hard to avoid at times. Now, these terminals really don't do anything, but if you go on the bottom row, this is where you find out that there's something about Egg 6, because it says that Egg 6 has an abnormality. Now, you have the missile launcher here. It is, other than the Spur, it is the highest damaging weapon in the game, but like I said, it has limited ammo, which can be kind of a killer at times. But I always use that there. But one of the phases of the game's final boss, that weapon is crucial for, which is why I kind of like the missile launcher because you do get it early in the game. I mean, it's the second area when you have that. Like, that guy's going anywhere. Again, the behemoths, and again with these bug guys, you saw that one earlier do those energy blasts. Although it didn't look like much because they hit a wall, those things actually can be tough to avoid. Now, in that computer room, it also said that Egg 1 had an abnormality, which, this is where the ID card comes into play. You have to put the ID card in this terminal, and then continue, because that big red thing is now gone. Now, normally, if you don't put the ID card in there, you can't pass at it, and touching that red thing will hurt you. We now get to the second boss in the game, Igor. He is also very easy, especially since by this time you should have the Polar Star level 3, or even the level 2, will easily be able to beat this guy. His attacks are very close range, and you just jump over him and shoot the crap out of him. He does a bunch of energy blasts, but you can actually destroy them by simply shooting them. And now we beat the big frenzied freakazoid and move on. We now go right here. That save point over there you can't access until later in the game. And this is egg 0. Now, unlike the rest of the eggs, the number of the egg is actually imprinted on it. It doesn't matter what you say for that decision. The yes or no decisions don't have big effects until later in the game. There is one that actually will decide whether or not you win or lose, but that's not until later. That's not until much later. So after this cutscene, she basically just... this cutscene's a lot of foreshadowing. She says, "You're not from around here. and we're gonna leave. You're gonna help me, blah, blah, blah. Now you've done that, we make one final journey through the egg corridor backwards. The egg corridor isn't any harder backwards. The enemies are easy as ever. We're not going to be seeing any difficult cave in this, or location in this place for a while. Now, in mass numbers, these flying things can be annoying, but they don't really appear in really big numbers until later on, until much later on, actually. Again, those guys with the energy blasts. Pretty easy to avoid, but the thing is that you can't destroy, unlike most projectiles in this game, you can't destroy them by shooting at them, so it can be annoying. Probably shouldn't have got hit there, I just got careless. So just continue throughout the rest of this place. If you didn't get that life capsule up there, you want to get it now, because it'll be your last chance, unless you return here later on. Shoot! Didn't want to do that. Continue blowing up everything in your way. We're almost through the place. I don't even need to recognize those flying guys anymore. I found some blow them up. Oddly enough, even the living creatures on the island blow up, as opposed to some of the robots that destroy. So now we go back to Arthur's house, and now we get another cutscene with Sue and Kazuma. Notice that Kazuma is a human, but Sue is a Mimiga, or Mimiga. I don't know how you pronounce it. I just always pronounce it Mimiga, or Mimiga. But that plays in later on. Notice that he mentioned Grasstown. That comes into play in a little bit. So this doesn't matter. The story of this game is pretty cool. Oh, by the way, I could use some food. User Stu has disconnected. That's pretty funny. Enter King. You'll notice the King is sort of a first, but after this cutscene is when he starts being really cool. But there's one cutscene in the game that single-handedly makes him my favorite character. In fact, we'll probably be getting there in under an hour, probably. So we save. Now there's this little thing. You have to go talk to Sue, and then we go to the third cave in the game, which is the first one that's a reasonable challenge. However, in that cave, you also get a gun that's very useful for a few certain parts. And in fact, it's crucial for the strategy I use for the pseudo-final boss. It's actually crucial. You'll see why. Because my strategy for the Undead Core is very unique. I've never seen, of all the Undead Core battles on YouTube, I've never seen anybody do it. But mine works. I've beaten the Undead Core multiple times with it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're not going to be getting the Undead Core for a long time. So now we head to Grasstown, which is the first cave in the game that's a reasonable challenge because some of the enemies can be annoying. It has its crazy music. The other reason this dungeon is kind of annoying is because this cave is annoying is because you have to go forward and back through it multiple times, which can be irritating. In the meantime, I'll level up the missile launcher, which I don't know why I wasn't doing that earlier. One thing about Grasstown, though, is that it's also probably the first cave that has where every enemy drops a dump load of weapon energy. Yeah, there's a character in this game named Santa. He's a minor character, but still, it's kind of weird. Again, extremely annoying sound. Only 2 people live in Grasstown, 3 if you count a robot, actually. Okay, actually, to be fair, there are a bunch of the robots, but still. Also, yeah, one of the Cthulhu is standing right up here. And those guys actually, for a first playthrough, they can actually offer some good advice to, like, new players.